What's going on, guys? Heathan Tracy coming to HeathandTracyTV.
Hi, guys.
Hey, if this is your first time joining us, this is Heath and Tracy. We are relationship strategists.
I'm Tracy.
I'm Heath and Tracy. We're relationship strategists specializing in premarital preparedness and intermarital improvement. We're so glad you guys could join us today.
Thank you.
You gonna move it a little closer, baby?
Yeah, well, it's too high, but go ahead. Do your thing.
All good. So we were having this conversation recently, and we thought it might be a good topic. Just the whole conversation about marital privileges before you're married, right? And so,
Boyfriend or girlfriend, we're not going to be, we're not going to split the difference here. I think there are men out there that give wife privileges to girlfriends when undeservedly, and there are women out there that give husband privileges to men or boyfriends undeservedly. And I guess when Heath and I first started talking about this, I think he was focusing on sex.
That was not my only focus, baby.
That's all he was talking about. But I think you can be in a relationship with someone, have sex with someone, and still not give them husband privileges. That's what I think. I think husband privileges is so much more.
Yeah, there's certainly some nuances to what we're talking about, right? And so certainly what the engagement, physical engagement is certainly a component of that, but we all know
physical engagement.
Physical
engagement.
We're trying to keep it light for the advertisers, But the point is that we all know that there's so much more to a relationship than just the physical component, right? And so the question really arose was, if you are not married but you're cohabitating or you're living with someone, you're giving this person all of these privileges to you, access to you, you're sharing everything with them, you're planning your life, you're cooking, you're cleaning, you're intimacy,
that's too much.
All of these things happen when you cohabitate or when you are going to the next level with your relationship. And so, we get this question sometimes is, how do we kind of deal with this? What happens?
What's expected, I think, is the big issue here. I think a lot of people think, we need to move our relationship to the next level. What does that mean? What does that look like?
Right.
And I think they confuse moving your relationship to the next level with, we need to live together. And to be transparent, Heath and I did live together prior to marriage.
We did.
But we didn't do it from an aspect of we're trying to improve our relationship. We did it from we need to move in together.
Right. And I think that happens today a lot too,
does.
right? With economic realities and people, relationships of convenience or living arrangements of convenience, and people are trying to determine, hey, I'm making this amount of dollars and you're making that amount of dollars.
And I'm over here all the time.
So why don't we just pool our resources?
Right.
Makes so much sense.
That's what happens.
Yeah.
But I think what people need to do, I think if you stop focusing on improving the relationship, you need to focus on what is the purpose of the relationship.
Yeah.
So always start with that question. If you can't answer that question, if you all can't agree on the purpose of why we're together all the time, why we date exclusively, why we just having sex with one another and no one else, if you can't agree on that, it might be time to part ways. It's not time to live with one another. It's not time to meet the parents. It's time to figure out, what are we doing purposefully in this relationship? Are we moving toward marriage in this relationship?
Yeah. You hear that term a lot, dating with purpose, right? I think that's a really cool term in terms of when you have two mature adults and we understand that we are both seeking long-term, meaningful relationships. We're trying to go somewhere. We're trying to get to know one another better.
Right.
Let's do it in more of a kind of a traditional way. And hey, I need to understand this about you. I need to understand that about you. I like you. I'm digging you. I'm feeling you. We vibing. So let's get to know each other more. And so what happens is that you're making some kind of agreement that, okay, we're going to move forward with our dating. We're going to move forward with specific purpose of why we're dating. So exactly your point.
Yeah, I think you need to be purposeful in your dating this person. If you date someone 2 or 3 times, let's say 2 times, maybe even 1 time, and you say, okay, that I'm not really feeling that. That was a little weird, whatever. You need to tell that person. You don't need to be. You don't need to have any fear. If you are sleeping with a man or a woman out of fear that you aren't going to be able to continue the relationship with them, you need to drop that fear, because that fear is not going to do anything but produce a negative situation.
Right. That's exactly right. Now, I think that fear is a key word there, Tracy, because as they say, fear and faith operate under the same principles. So I think that what you want to do is to make sure that you're dating with purpose in a way of faith, right? We don't necessarily have to jump in the sack. We don't necessarily have to cohabitate and live as husband and wife, even though we've only known each other for a month. And so I think that these are some of the kinds of things that people can do from the perspective of, hey, I'm an adult, you're an adult, you're doing things, I'm doing things, and I would like to get to know you better. So let's date with purpose, and it doesn't have to necessarily come with all this other stuff for us to know each other.
But let's be real. Do some guys expect women to do the wifely things? Is this a tryout?
Oh,
Are you trying to see if I'm wifely enough? I don't know. There's different ways of getting that across. Conversation, exchanging one another's values, getting an understanding of one another's values to see if they line up. You can cook a meal for them, but I wouldn't make it a ongoing expected thing. I don't think that's necessary for a guy to understand that you're wife material. I think having intimacy in a physical manner, I'm going to stick to what Heath says, is necessary if you feel that way. Some people think it's a must. They think you got to try it out. You got to. What do they say? What is
try
it?
Before you buy.
Try before you buy, or whatever they think it is. They think it's necessary before you commit to marriage. Some people don't want to have sex at all before they get married, and some people that's a no-go for them. That's just a complete no-go. I need to try you out before I buy you. One of those kind of things. We're not cars. We're not cars, guys.
I've seen lots of literature around this concept, right? Is that people, well, what if we're not compatible physically? Or what if, I find that we're just not a match and you don't dig me in that way, or, we like everything else about each other, but there's some things lacking. And I think that what I have to say about that, now let me not be the pot calling the kettle black. I like physical intimacy, and I have always enjoyed that about my relationship with my wife. But the point is that if I could extrapolate and put myself in that role today, I would think that all of those other things are so much more important because of the amount of time that you're going to spend with this person for the rest of your life.
Right.
So from that perspective, I think that what I've come to know is that if you are completely emotionally, physically, that you are completely intertwined with this person, and that you guys are on the same page around so many other things in life, is that physical piece will come.
It will come.
That should be the last issue.
If everything else is lined up and in order, that part will work.
Absolutely, it will.
It will work. Even in a marriage, if you're not aligned properly, if something's off in the marriage, that's not good. So it doesn't matter whether, I mean, a lot of women will talk about, well, what if he doesn't have what I need or whatever. I can't really speak to that because I don't know. I can't speak to that. But I can understand that fear.
That concern.
But once again, you have to see what you're working with. Are you working with fear?
Right.
And you want fear out of your relationship. And I'm saying these things, I'm talking to my girls now, because there are a lot of people out here who are in relationships with men, and then they fall in love with them. They want to be with them. They're thinking about marriage. They're thinking about the next level. And they go ahead and move to the intimate phase. They go ahead and meet the parents. They go ahead and meet the children. They may not move in together, but they go to that next level emotionally. And what you have to begin to ask yourself, ladies, is what is the purpose of this?
Right.
Are we moving toward marriage? Okay, we're not moving toward marriage. We don't have to have sex whenever you want. Go find somebody else to do that with. You know, it's not necessary. If you don't think we're moving toward marriage, if you just got out of a relationship, or you already paying alimony to somebody, whatever the reason is, that's fine.
Right.
We can date, we can hang out, we can do cool stuff together, and you can do that with somebody else. It's that simple. Now, if you're digging them like that and you want to do that with them, you want to be intimate with them, understand the consequences that come with that.
Yeah.
Understand the consequences that come with.
You're so aggressive with your point.
I'm just sorry. I'm just like that. I'm just like that.
Pointing at they don't want you to...
I want them to get it. I want them to get it.
Okay, well, point up, but do the politician thing with you.
I'm not you. I'm not you. I want my sisters to understand this.
Okay, go ahead and complete your thought, love. Were you done?
You got me off track now.
I'm sorry, man. Okay, well, so let me... Well,
don't say what I was trying to say.
May I retort? No.
I'm not finished.
Okay, go ahead. You want to finish? Go ahead.
So, all I want my sisters to... see, I got it. I'm doing it. All I want my sisters to understand is that you don't have to sleep with a guy to get a guy to marry you. I'm not saying don't. I'm not saying that.
Right.
If you want to sleep with him, sleep with him. But what I'm saying is, if you want to cook for him every night, cook for him. But understand that has nothing to do with whether he's going to marry you or not. That has nothing to do if he's going to continue a relationship with you. Now, you have to divide the two. You know, you have to separate the two. If in my younger days before I was married, if I went out with a guy and we went there, okay, and I woke up the next day and I was like, I'm not really feeling this situation right here.
So what would you do?
Ghost.
Oh, you ghosted it?
Ghost.
You ghosted him like
Ghost.
that?
I ghosted people back in the 90s.
Ghosting people before they had...
Not even the 90s, in the 80s.
Ghosting apparatus.
Yeah, I would ghost them.
Tracy, you were a pioneer. Why you ghosting people like that, though?
Because I didn't want to explain.
Why didn't you call the dude and say, yo, this is what it is?
Because I didn't.
That was not what I was trying to do.
Right.
That's have some fun.
Right.
Blah,
I'm
blah,
sorry,
blah.
but see, because I felt like, he sees me a certain way now, and he's gonna expect that from now on.
Right.
Is he?
Oh, please believe it.
And how you gonna explain to a dude after that? I ain't trying to do that with you no more.
But if you were to have said that to me,
no, you would have been offended.
I would have been like, so what I do wrong?
No, you didn't do anything wrong. You didn't do anything wrong.
Okay, so why can't we just keep doing that?
Because that's what you want to keep doing, and I don't.
Okay, you want to back it down? You trying to back it up then?
That's not gonna happen.
Okay,
y'all know that's not gonna happen. That's not gonna happen.
And so conversely, I just want to add to that is that when you are engaged with a guy and a guy is really digging you, he's into you, he's feeling you, he's vibing with you and that kind of thing, he's going to pursue you.
Yeah.
He's going to pursue you. He's going to be all about it.
No matter what, whether you giving up the cookies or not.
He's going to be like, yo,
whether you cooking dinner every night or not.
You want to go to the movies? Can I take you somewhere?
I would tell you, I was not wifely before we got married.
That's true.
I did not become a wife until we got married.
Yeah.
I wasn't showing him, look, I'm doing the wife stuff.
Right.
We lived together. And I wasn't like that because I wasn't his wife.
Yeah, and another thing that happens too, I think that with maturity and with getting older and with engaging in that relationship is that you grow in those areas anyway, right?
You weren't a husband.
And I certainly was not.
So why would I try to be a wife?
And that's actually one of the reasons why we are, why we have our book around prepare. And being prepared and talking about, what was that Darnell talking about?
He said, I need my glasses Darnell.
He said, I'm listening to my friend, don't start, you can't finish. That's Darnell.
That's okay, but you have a point there. Don't start nothing you can't finish.
Right.
And the whole point about that is understanding that where that person is.
Yeah.
If you want to be that man's wife, say that.
Right.
I don't want to be your girlfriend. If we're going to do anything, I feel like we need to be legally doing it.
Right.
I want to be in that type of relationship.
Yeah.
Well, I don't want to do that right now. Okay, deuces.
And that's what happens,
deuces.
Right? And if the guy's really into you, then he's going to continue.
He's going to continue with you.
He's going to continue to
You
pursue.
can't do anything to change his mind.
Right.
And then let's talk about the guys doing that. Same thing.
Yeah.
We know somebody that waited, 10 years?
What are you talking about?
they waited a while. They proposed and proposed and proposed, and the girl said no, no, no.
That's true.
But he didn't go anywhere.
And the thing about that too is exactly what we were saying in terms of the maturation.
They got married recently.
Yep. In terms of the maturation and both parties saying that, okay, this is going somewhere, this is materializing.
Right.
Okay,
this is going where I want it to go.
Right. So to your point, not acting like a wife or not acting like a husband.
You don't have to.
If that element is there, then that tells you, okay, well, maybe you're not ready. It goes back to the point of maybe you shouldn't be living together in the first place.
But I shouldn't have to try out to be a wife,
right.
and he shouldn't have to try out to be a husband.
Yeah.
You want certain qualities
right.
in a person,
right?
Yeah.
Hi.
You want certain qualities in a person, but you don't necessarily want someone to be trying out to be your husband or your wife. Right? You would have been gone.
What's going on, Mike McGee? I see you, buddy.
How you doing?
Yeah. So I think that you got anything in here that we wanted to touch on? I think that that's very key, though, in terms of if you are into a woman, if you're a man and you're into a woman, you are all about talking with her, looking at where she is, where she's going. Hey, would you like for me to pick you up this evening? I would love to take you to dinner. I would love to share a movie with you. What time are you going to be over there? Maybe we can go and get some ice cream. Whatever it is, right? And so the point is that you cannot run a dude away if he is into you. And so
whether you're having sex, I have to keep saying this.
It's okay, baby.
You know,
yeah.
You don't. I was talking to some young ladies recently, and they were talking about their experiences with these guys that they're sleeping with and hanging out with. And I said, you need to stop sleeping with them. They'll treat you differently, or they won't deal with you at all. Either way, it's gonna be okay.
Yep.
If you just stop that part. Well, I need it and I want it. Okay. Come on, people.
What? Yeah, I mean, I think that's Mike. So we're just if you're just joining us, what we're talking about today is the whole concept of getting privileges of a spouse without being married, right?
Yeah, and when we talk about privileges, we're not just talking about intimacy.
We're
talking about doing, okay, like when I think about a girlfriend getting wife privileges, I'm talking about like access to your bank account. That's a wife thing.
Right.
That's not a girlfriend thing. Using your automobile.
Yep.
That's a wife thing. That's not a girlfriend thing.
Yep. You paying bills for her, man.
Yeah, that's a wife thing.
I'm going to take care of this. I'm going to take care of that.
Right.
I'm going to pay this bill for you.
Oh my gosh.
I'm going to help you with your finances in terms of your investment and your 401k at your work.
Oh.
I'm going to...
let me look at your savings and see how you're doing.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, these are very intimate, very personal things.
Yeah, and then expectations come with that. So you have to talk about the purpose of your relationship before you move to that level of intimacy. Not just physical intimacy, but financial intimacy, health stuff. Keep the girlfriends and the boyfriends in their box.
Right.
So, and then when you're in your boxes, you can get a clearer picture of how do you move to matrimony or how do you move the relationship to the next level. And the next level answer is not moving in together.
And I see that in the ambiguity of titles these days, right? Especially with maybe some of the younger folks where they don't say, this is my girlfriend.
They don't know what to
say.
They don't know what to say.
We're talking, or what's another term they use?
We're courting.
No, they don't use courting.
Some people do.
But I think that's one of the ways that people today kind of try to get around that is that they don't put a title on their relationship, right?
Yeah,
so the whole concept of dating with purpose of, hey, I'm really into you. I want to get to know you better. You and I are going to be exclusive, and let's see where this thing goes. We want to get to know each other on a more deep level.
So, ladies that are out there in long-term relationships, and you're wondering why he hasn't popped the question yet, and I think I'm gonna go ahead and pop the question. Don't do that.
Yeah.
It has to be a mutually agreed upon thing. If you know you want to get married and you know he wants to marry you, you all need to talk about why he hasn't asked the question yet. You need to talk about, hi, how you doing? You need to talk about why he hasn't asked the question yet. You need to talk about what will it take to get there.
Right.
And if it's money, or wait till I get this done, or wait till I get that done, that's a red flag. that's a red flag. He's not sure. He's not sure. And yeah, he laughs because he's not sure. But I know people that said, okay, I've graduated. I'm going to law school.
Right.
But as soon as you graduate from undergrad, we get married.
Right.
We're not waiting until I graduate from law school. Because it has nothing to do with it.
Yeah.
You're going to grow together.
Yeah.
You know?
No, you fine, Ezra.
Topic is if you...
Go ahead.
What is it?
Go ahead.
Oh, why buy the cow when you can get the milk for free?
Yeah, so that's part. Yeah, that's kind of the title.
Don't give a girlfriend wife privileges, and don't give a boyfriend husband privileges.
So that's what we're talking about. So if people who are on the live or the replay, if you've ever given privileges before you've been married, type of one in into the comments. So we like to see
I think we all have,
because we certainly have all been guilty of some of these things in our lives.
Yeah,
right?
I think I was just reared differently because I didn't. I don't know. I never did that really. It wasn't about impressing him to make sure he wanted to marry me. And I'm just being honest. I wasn't trying to impress anybody into marrying me. I wanted somebody to marry me just the way I was. You know, it's not about getting a tryout here. You know, and do I do the positions he likes best?
Oh my gosh.
You know, do I do that thing right? Did I cook his favorite meal? Who cares?
It wasn't a litmus test.
Exactly. It should never be a test.
What's up, Ken Black? I see you.
And if it's a test, y'all need to check that one. Cross that one off the list. Cross it off the list.
Yep.
Yeah, don't make that mistake. If you are in a relationship deep with somebody and you all are thinking and you all are talking about, well, what's the next level for us? What's the next step for us?
Right.
That's a great conversation, but it does not lead to living together.
Yeah, and you want to have that conversation in faith and in maturity, not in fear.
Never. So that's what we talked about earlier. Remove the fear from the relationship. If I don't do this with him, he's going to leave me. If I don't do that for them, they're going to not consider me to be whatever.
If I don't pay her rent, she might not think I'm a baller.
Right.
Oh, she might.
Or
be like,
she doesn't think I can provide.
Right. Wherever you are in the relationship, if you guys are on the same page and you want to be together, then that's what we're about. Our thesis is that when you want to be in a relationship, you want to be married, you have two people that are in that space. That's
the first thing. If you want to be married, don't let anything stop you from being married.
Right.
If you're with a woman or a man that's not sure, or I'm trying to figure it out, or I got to get my coins up first, keep it moving.
Right.
If you're trying to be married, if you're thinking I want to be married, express that.
Right.
Express that to them.
Yeah, especially with guys, because dudes,
they don't know. They don't know.
Hey, you gotta let me know what you need. Oh, that's what you're trying to do. Okay, I guess I remember I need to think about that song.
Right,
okay.
Right.
I was just thinking we was kicking it. You know, I wasn't even really thinking like that. But now you telling me you want to get married. Okay, I dig you, so maybe yeah. Let's talk about that.
And I don't mean 5 years from now.
Right. You gotta let dudes know. And guys, I think guys know these days is that hey, we've been together a couple years, and it's time to start looking that way. Let's see what Mike said. What if the couple wants to be married? However, the finances, the stratus spend. Yeah. And so I had that conversation with my brother actually when he was looking to. Right. They were looking to buy a house and looking to do some other things. And so I said to them, so why don't y'all get married? And so his question was a very similar thing, Mike, is that the family's not quite together and this kind of thing and that kind of. And so my response was, you're gonna struggle anyway.
It's gonna be struggle love. It's struggle love.
The struggle love is the struggle love, right? And so if you have two adults that want to be together, you're gonna be better together, attacking life, setting goals, sharing dreams. You're gonna be better together. So we may as well get married.
It's better together.
Because your life is gonna be better.
Yeah, you both need you need yin and yang. You need excitable and loud. Like me.
Oh my gosh.
You need calm, cool, intellectual, serene like he.
So we're not exactly the same, baby?
No. Not even.
That's funny.
So you need yin and yang.
Yeah.
You need someone to balance you. If they're still working on their if they're still working on, let's say they're working on undergrad, that's different. If they're trying to achieve something like that, that's different. But if you're talking about graduate school or trying to get to another level at their job, they're going to do better with you by their side.
Supporting them.
They're going to do better with their other half, praying for them, propping them up, edifying, lifting them up. They're going to do better with that. They don't need that second thought of, where is he going tonight? Or where is she going tonight? Or is he going to come over here tonight? Or are they going to go over there tonight? You don't need that. You don't need that added pressure. Once you're married, you start working together and things start working out. So don't be in fear of losing someone over finances, over intimacy or not having intimacy, over whether you cook or not, whether they mama, daddy, sister, brother like you or not. Don't have any fear whatsoever around that. Because if you have any fear in the relationship, it's going to become a negative factor in the relationship. And if you sleep with someone thinking that's what they expect of me, and because I've slept with them, now what? You expect something from them. You expect commitment. You expect loyalty. You expect to go to the next level. Don't think you doing that not expecting anything. Because you are. You're expecting something.
So Anthony is asking about time frame and what's too long and what's a certain time frame. I think you have to certainly do what's right for you, but I think at the same token, Tracy spoke to that a few minutes ago, is that you want to make sure that you communicate what's important to you. And what you'd like to get out of the relationship and what you'd like to see. You know, I think that people can make excuses until they feel like, oh, okay, well, I better do this because something that I really value, I may lose that. And so sometimes that can be that can be a prompting. So it's not necessarily a fearful scenario, but it's communicating what it is that you want to the person that you're in this relationship with and say, hey, I really like to see this happen around this time.
But you either want to get married or you don't. You either want to live together or you don't. So if you do, then get to planning. Get to doing it. If you decide to propose to your significant other this Christmas, it's going to take a year to get reservations somewhere.
So set a date.
Set a date. Get it done. Get it done. It's not about prolonging anything to see if this is going to work. To see if I'm moving with you, let's practice husbandry and let's practice wifery.
Something happens, Anthony, when you set a date to something, right? Then it crystallizes. It goes from being a thought or a dream to, okay, now we have an action item.
How long before Heath and I knew we were going to get married?
Oh, within a few months of us dating.
We knew in about 3 months in there, we knew we were going to get married. We didn't know when we were going to get married, but we knew we were going to get married. And we talked about it. And we made plans about it. And we moved toward that. So I would say, if you've been dealing with somebody for 2 years, and y'all not even talking about it, you have to figure out if that person even wants to get married. Because, or if they do want to get married, do they want to get married to you? That's awesome, Anthony, that you have a date set. I think that, all of your actions will be pointed toward that event, toward that date. And I think that's fantastic. And don't just focus on the wedding. Focus on one another and preparing for the marriage. Because I assure you, once you get married, it's different. It's different. It is. Everything you love about them is magnified. Everything you hate about them is magnified. And that's why our book is called Prepare. Marriage is a marathon, not a sprint. So you might want to check that out. HeathandTracy.com. Yeah. So we done, baby? I think so. Any other questions, guys? Thanks for joining us. Yeah. So we love our Sunday nights with you. We try to do 7 o'clock because it's like after the games have gone off, but it's before Sunday night football comes on. We don't watch football, so. Yeah, we watch very little football. We watch the highlights. Yeah, we see some highlights every now. Yeah, we see some highlights every now. But good, don't go in fear. That's the biggest thing I think we want to get across here is do what you want to do as grown folks, because grown folks gonna do what grown folks want to do, but don't do it in fear. Yeah. Don't do it in fear of, if I don't do this, I'm not going to get. Yep. Because that's where it goes off the rails. It goes off the rails completely. Absolutely. So keep that in mind. If you have any questions, put it in the comments below. We're going to answer them. You're welcome. And you can catch the replay probably later on tonight. Ezra wants us to talk about some real estate in Raleigh. Real estate in Raleigh.
Oh man,
it's hot right now. It is hot.
Yep.
The house down the street from us sold in what, 3 months?
Yep.
It sold pretty quickly in 3 months.
Yep.
There's some other houses in our neighborhood. It seems like anything that is in the 200 to 400 range is gone. You're gonna have to bid on it. You're gonna be competing for it. Anything that hi Sherry Ann. Anything that is in the upper range, the $600,000, $800,000 range, it's gonna take a few more months to sell.
Yeah.
But it's gonna sell, and it's gonna sell for a little bit under asking, not much.
Yeah, they're still doing a lot of building, Ezra. So
there's a lot of new houses here.
Yeah, on your time frame, you're still good.
You're still good.
Coming in another year, you're fine, no problem. You'll be able to find what you need.
You'll be fine.
All good. Good to see you, Mike McGee. Take care, man. Glad we could give you some value, buddy.
All right, we love you.
Just remember
to connect.
Stay connected to God, stay connected to your family, stay connected to your spouse.
Or your significant other.
HeathandTracy.com, check us out.
And don't forget about our podcast.
Hey, you gotta holler at us, man. Joyfully Married After on iTunes. Hey, we're still doing our contest, right?
Yep, $50 date night on Heath and Tracy.
Hey, we're trying to take care of y'all. So go to iTunes, download
any of the episodes.
Joyfully Married After.
There are 5 episodes.
Any of the episodes, all of the episodes. Comment, share, and do a review for us.
Right.
All right?
Take care, guys.
Good to see y'all. Yes, seller's market, yes.
Yes, it is.
All right, we'll see y'all soon.